What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. It's officially Dallas week. This is A2D Wednesday nights. We're going to be talking a little bit about the James Harden deal. We'll give you our locks of the week. Eagles, Cowboys. Let's go.
What's up, my family? Listen, first-time listener, or you've been here the whole damn time. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, giddy up, let's go, no notes.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Slap.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!
What the f*** are you talking about?
Welcome in, everybody. This is A2D Wednesday nights, only on A2D Radio. And every Wednesday, we are brought to you by our good friends over at Royal Billiard. Go check them out. They're the premier game room store in the Delaware Valley. Stocked with the very best in pool tables, accessories, shuffleboards, card tables, dart supplies, bars, bar stools. Turn any ordinary room into an extraordinary gaming experience. Oh, did we mention they have hot tubs too? Located 515 Bethlehem Pike, Colmar, PA, or right on the web, royalbilliard.com. As always, Chrome, Blake, Frank, Greg. I almost called you Steppy because of your handle down there. I'm Tom. Everybody, welcome in. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Sixers finally. I can't believe we're saying this. I feel like it's every couple of years about a different player. We finally have traded James Harden. We're going to dissect that trade. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about, I don't care if Josh Harris pulled that trigger. As much as I don't like about Josh Harris. That deal had to get done. I think it's a great deal. And it's a great deal without even getting players back. That's how I look at that deal. So we're going to dissect it. We're going to look at it. Locks of the week. We do it weekly. We'll give it to you again. We'll run through the whole slate of NFL games. We'll give you our predictions for every matchup. And then we'll mix our locks into that as well for you. But you know what time it is. Main topic at hand. Eagles, Cowboys, preview, predictions, players of the game, a chance for you to win money from us to you. Dive in, jump in, and ties into our poll question. And our poll question is brought to you by Carlino's Italian Market. Shop Carlino's Italian food online like gourmet cheeses, meats, olive oils, gift baskets. Elevate your dining with Carlino's Gourmet Italian Deli. Discover the taste of Italy now, baby. Carlino's Market, located in Ardmore and Westchester, PA. Or you can find them online, Carlino's Market, on all your social media platforms too. Go check out our good friends over there. You will not be disappointed. Our poll for tonight. Jalen Hurts will outperform Dak Prescott this week. Agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow, join the conversation, most importantly. And really to the poll question, I don't give a rat's ass. I can give two shits if Jalen Hurts outperforms Dak Prescott. I care about when the clock hits zero, did the Philadelphia Eagles win this football game? Now, did Jalen Hurts have to outperform Dak Prescott? Yeah, he's got to play great, right? I mean, when you're a franchise quarterback, you got to play great weekly, right? So, I don't know. Dak Prescott's always had success playing against us for whatever reason that may be, but I don't think I don't care about that poll. I'm not basing the game based off of that poll. I'll base the game off the turnovers. I base the game off getting off the field on third down. I base the game on getting after the quarterback. There's a lot of other deeper things than just Jalen and Dak. But it is Cowboys week. Those two are tied at the hip in terms of that, right? So we'll dive into it. No, Jalen's been playing a lot better, right? Jalen's playing a lot better. I sort of have a little issue with the amount of plays over 15 yards this defense has given up throughout this year. It's actually alarming. If you want to look at maybe the most alarming thing, it's that outside of our turnovers. But he's got to outperform Dak in terms of not turning the football away. That's how I look at their matchup. Like, which quarterback is not going to make the big mistakes? Because you sure as I don't want to start 14-3, down 14-3 against the Cowboys. I don't know if that's going to age well for you. Because as much as I hate the Cowboys, this is a good football team coming into Philadelphia on Sunday at 4:25. All right, this ain't your younger Cowboys, right? This ain't your Quincy Carters coming in and the likes. This is a damn good football team, and I put respect on good football teams. So, I think he will outperform them because I got the Eagles winning. But part of me still thinks they may not, just because of how things go here in Philadelphia. But I think he does. I hope he does, and I hope he cleans that part of his game up. But Jalen's been really good. So there's no reason to think that Jalen can't or will or won't outperform Dak Prescott this week. So I agree. Everybody out there, I see you guys all chiming in already. Dom, he agrees. Johnny talking, Martian, Chucks, Tony, Wills, Philly Sports with Bake, Greg Miller, always the first guy in. Slayer, Tony Woods, we see you guys. We see you. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. A lot of agrees. And we'll get into some concerns later on this show as well. But I'm going to agree because I really don't want to be that type of leadoff hitter. So whoever wants to follow up, it definitely won't be Greg. So anybody else as he's spinning. Oh, see you, babe. As he's spinning, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. I agree to the poll as well. I feel like, obviously Dak's had a lot of success. He's only lost one game since 2017 against the Philadelphia Eagles. That's impressive. Let's be honest, it is. Obviously, last year, we didn't get to really see these two guys at this iteration of their career play each other. So, first-time matchup in what could be a long-time rivalry here, and it's a statement game, and obviously an opportunity and a chance for the Eagles to open up that gap. And I feel like Jalen in these kinds of games has really stepped up over the last couple of years. You know what I mean? So, the turnovers is the concern here. If we can limit the turnovers, I think the chances are really strong here. You know, their secondary without having Diggs back there has been exploitable. And with the way that this passing offense has played over the last few weeks, particularly taking out the Jets game, it's been really strong. AJ's really starting to hit his stride and his chemistry with Jalen. When you look at the Miami game, Dallas was able to find opportunities to get the ball up the field and obviously do what he does in terms of yak. And Devontae, although the targets aren't, their quantity-wise, continues to find ways to make big catches in big moments. So this is an opportunity for Jalen. I think the offensive line has a slight advantage. Dallas's defensive front is strong. If you can control Micah Parsons, which they were able to do last year, which I think is a strong key when you talk about facing that Dallas defense. If you can contain Micah Parsons and limit – we got shocked faces here. Limit his ability to do damage, then yes, I think Jalen can have a great day. So, yeah, I'm going to agree to the poll here.
And that was the shocked face of Zach Gallen getting spring training tickets for next season. So,
well, yeah, Thomas came up the field, a ground ball, and it went right under his glove and rolled all the way to the wall. So Texas now leads 3-0. So that's all.
It's top of the ninth.
Man, you guys, that face, I was like, oh shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just literally crap. So that's why it was shocking.
You guys both did it at the same time, though. I was like, oh, something happened.
I'm glad we're the first guys ever in sync TV-wise on here, because usually
that's true.
You know how that goes.
It was moments. It was literally to the second.
That's classic. Oh, great job out of us, Frank.
Yeah.
That's a good reaction, though. Like I usually get annoyed when like Greg and Wilson want to react to stuff all day Sunday while football's going on. We're talking Eagles, but that one's like that's a little like reaction. You can't make that mistake, dude.
Yeah, especially when at one point it was like 1-0 in favor of Texas. Like you can't be making a mistake like that. But I mean, since I'm talking, I might as well go while I'm still yammering. I also agree to the poll. As Chrome said, this is going to be the first time in a very long time. I actually didn't do the research, but somebody actually did the research. It has been 770 plus days since Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott truly met and faced off each other. I mean, both guys had very good games. Yes, they weren't against great teams, but I think with this game being at Lincoln Financial Field, I think Jalen, rest of the team's going to step up and get the job done. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I agree to the poll. I also do think the Eagles win. Hope Jalen gets it done and gets one up on the Cowboys. So that's where I'm at.
No, they're great. Blake?
Yeah, yeah, I'm going to agree to the poll as well. I don't think, as it's been like the last, like it was the meeting last year, and just basically the way it's been like the last few times that Jalen didn't play, obviously in the Dallas game last year in Dallas, but when he played Dak, like in what was that, week 6, week 7 last year, whenever it was, and he as far as I'm concerned, he outperformed him every step of the way. I don't see it being any different this week at the leg. So I'm going to agree to the poll, and like everybody else said, if we can contain Micah Parsons, limit the damage, do what we need to do, I don't see us coming out here basically, with the W, and and we'll be 8-1, and we'll be riding high, and we'll still be number 1 in the power rankings. It's nice seeing that again. Number 1, best team in the NFL. It's a great thing to see every day when I wake up and see that poll every day.
Yeah, not a bad thing, right? Not a bad thing. We've been in our days in the 20s. We know how that feels. I will say what they did last year against the Cowboys and where they had success was running right at Micah Parsons. Mm-hmm. So, you hit that out?
And let's pencil that in. Your 2023 World Series champions right there.
I just saw the homer.
It's about time.
First one in franchise history.
That should seal it.
Good for them. Good for them.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, they did a great job of running right at him last year. So, I wonder if they had a little bit of that same formula again. I would assume they would. I mean, the best way to stop a big-time pass rusher is to run at him and slow him down that way. Our line did a good job against our defensive line last year. So I hope we can do that again this Sunday and really, starts with protecting the quarterback. Starts with not turning the football over. But again, like Carter just said, at the end of the day, we all care about winning. But Carter, people do care about power rankings. I can't say no one cares about power rankings, because if all we care about is winning, well, winning equals a good power ranking. So they both sort of go hand in hand, I hear you. I don't dive too deep into it. I don't really do my own. It's just you sort of know who the best team is, and right now we are. Well, we got a lot to talk about. We got to go over this game a little bit. We got to give score predictions, and it's tough. It really is. I don't know which way to go with it. And our score prediction is brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Okay, go check them out. You can book any getaway you want. All right, they got Clearwater coming up. They saw some openings for some Eagles games, so go check out our good friends over at Philly Sports Trips.
Well, we might as well bring Greg back in, and maybe he could be the lone disagree in the poll.
Sorry about that, Greg. Tommy, it's funny as you written me pre-show about my internet. The internet goes out, so
I got a good sense for things.
Fair ripping, right?
Yeah, I got a good sense from what I've been told.
So I did tune in though while I was away, and I did hear a bunch of agrees, which then of course leads me right into the I will disagree.
Called it.
I will disagree to the poll. I mean, obviously we know the abilities of Dak, and especially his abilities with us, right? He's 8-3 in his last 11 with us, and it looked like that. The Cowboys were able to get a little tune-up against the Rams last week, right? They were able to feel good about themselves. He was throwing the ball all over the place. I picked him up in fantasy, before last week, so it just worked out very well that he did well against the Rams. And let's face it, our secondary wasn't the greatest last week against Sam Howell, right? And Sam Howell is nowhere near on the same level as Dak, so I will agree that I think Dak outperforms Jalen, but I do have the Eagles potentially winning.
Real quick, and this is what I love about the NFL and I love about sports. Everybody wants to fucking talk about Washington. Like, I don't give a shit how the Washington Commanders played against us. I really don't. We can talk about the defensive struggles. I get it. You know what I care about? What did we do when the greatest show on turf showed up here? That's how you got to look at it. Stop looking at Washington. Like, I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at the fan base.
I hear you.
I always see on Twitter, Washington. Oh, how does Sam Howell do this? Because some teams just match up well against you. That's sports. I think it could be 2 and whatever, two for forever, okay, essentially, but they match up great against you. That's the beauty of sports. Is you throw records at the window, especially in the NFL. You absolutely do. Because you know going into a game, for whatever reason, the Commanders play us tough. The way our roster is shaped up, their defensive line, matches up good against our offensive line. They were a good run-stopping defense for the most part. All right? And they make you sort of one-dimensional way. So they match up well. Offensively, it seems like they've done a good job and a good game plan to get the ball out of Sam Howell's hands quick. I said last Wednesday, watch, we won't sack him at all. Or we'll sack him once because everybody thinks we're going to sack him 10 times. Look at the game plan. That's without Kevin Byard. Look at like the Dolphins game. The Dolphins game, there ain't no Kevin Byard. You shut it down. That's what I look at. What did you do against the elite? What have you done against the elite teams in this league offensively? No disrespect to Washington, but they can't hold Miami's jockstrap in terms of what they can do offensively to you and spread you out, right? So that's what I look at. Now, Dallas has had success against us like Washington has offensively, right? But I'm not going to sit here and freaking panic about a defense and a secondary that just got tremendously better over the last week and a half. That's why I think Eagles fans are out of their damn mind. Like, if you look at the biggest trade acquisition that's happened, I don't even care about Sanford and that loser Chase Young, okay? Because that's all glitz and glamour to me. What is his production? I'll ask you that. Why everybody's, Chase Young. Fuck Chase Young, okay? Because to me, he's overhyped because he has not lived up to the billing of a number one pick in the draft. He is not. Plain and simple, has not.
Wouldn't have been traded if he did. You're right.
That's the facts of the matter. All right. So I don't care. A cool story. The Niners got better. Of course they got better, but I don't care. We got the best for what we needed. Nobody did a better job in the trade deadline than the Philadelphia Eagles in acquiring Kevin Byard to shore up their secondary. So I'm not worried about what the hell our secondaries looked like this past week as you add a new piece into it, right? Talk to me in 3 or 4 weeks, or this week when we're a little bit more off the ground running and we have a little bit more chemistry. Sorry about the rant, but I am so sick and tired of Eagles fans. I'm sick of it. Like, we're walking around 7-1 and we got a goddamn head down. What do you get your head down for? Pick your head up. Walk with some confidence. Goodness gracious, not you, to Greg again, not you. You triggered a thought. Now
you're absolutely right, though. You're absolutely right, though. And the one thing we do know about Dak, though, is he does have, while I do disagree, he does have a tendency to hold on to the football, where Sam Howell and the Commanders had made a very, conscious effort to get the ball out. So you are absolutely spot on there. And then great rant. Loved it.
And to your point too, Tom, I was just hearing today too, a couple of people talking on some different programs, and they were talking about, to your exact point, right? Look at the Bengals, who seem to constantly lose to the Browns regardless. Some teams just have your number. How many teams,
Denver, KC, right?
Despite teams being superior to the Steelers, when you look at top to bottom, how many teams struggle against the Steelers because they step in there, whatever reason, especially in their own division, defensively? Lamar struggles against the Steelers. I mean, some teams just have guys' numbers, or some defenses just have a way of getting to the quarterback despite what their numbers are throughout the year, or vice versa. Sometimes the offensive line just absolutely dominates a defensive line that normally gets to the quarterback, and the quarterback's able, who normally maybe gets taken down a million times, is able to figure it out and get the ball out fast enough. It's just what happens, right? We look at baseball, right? We talked about Arizona, for no reason, had the Phillies number this year during the regular season. It happens. It's a thing in sports.
Yeah,
look at the Jets defense this year, right? They're not a great team, but their defense has just annihilated certain quarterbacks and kept them in football games long enough to make a field goal at the end.
Yeah, we walk around after that game Sunday, we lost a football game. Like, we didn't. I got a stat going out. Tomorrow morning. And let me just pull it up real quick, because it's It's a really good one about Jalen Hurts. You know, and of course you would like to not play from behind. Like nobody wants to play from behind, but it's part of sports. Jalen Hurts, when the Eagles are tied or trailing, first off, 0 picks and a 72% completion rate. Okay. 1,361 yards, 118 rating, and 13 touchdowns. So we walk around like we lost a damn football game. No, we got a winner. We got a winner who brought us back, right? They brought us back. Like, we walk around scared. Like, we're scared of the Cowboys. They're a damn good football team. We're loaded. We got to start acting like we're loaded because we are loaded, right? They haven't seen a front like this all week. You think what they saw last week? That's why I don't care what you Greg, you said, when they're kicking on all cylinders, feeling good. Good. I want you feeling good because you come in here feeling too good about yourself, you're going to get punched right in the face because this is an elite pass rush. I don't care. Football teams make adjustments in the NFL, goddammit. Okay? They make adjustments. So Sam Howell's getting sacked 1,000,000 times. They're going to make an adjustment to it. Simple. Doesn't mean our pass rush isn't elite. Is that we didn't play man defense. We played a lot of zone like we talked about Sunday, Greg, because of new pieces. And when you have new pieces, you have a tendency to play more zone because it's easier responsibility-wise at times, right? Mm-hmm. And you're not going to get beat over the top, whatever the case may be. I'm not a zone guy. When I got physical corners, right, and now I had Kevin Byard, and I have a front like this, I want to get in your face. So let's see what Sean decides game plan is this week against a really good Cowboys offense that I think you need to bump them. I think you need to get physical with these guys, right? And you need to trust that your front's going to get home. Congratulations to the Texas Rangers.
And it's official.
It's official.
And the greatest coach, maybe arguably one of the best coaches of all time, in Bruce Bochy, if not the best. You win 3 championships in three different organizations. You know, that's elite stuff. And congratulations, because the Rangers fans are been here forever, right? I mean, we're talking about hating Dallas right now, but I don't hate Texas Rangers fans, even though there's some of the same. But I've been waiting a long time for that. And a very loyal fan base that deserves it. And what a run and what a job. And screw you, Torey Lovello. I hope you guys sit there and watch it all. You loser. Right, you loser.
And they went for it, right? The last 3 all seasons, they went for it.
And gals, get your spring training tickets ready for Arizona fans. You know what I mean? It's my boy, that's my guy, but get him ready. He's not happy with A2D currently. We have a kicker who got a little
damn kickers.
You know what's funny though with athletes? Like we troll everybody, so everybody's up for grabs, you know. But I want to go over your guys.
But the post wasn't wrong.
No, it wasn't wrong at the time. But I want to go over, you know, your score predictions, your players of the game, and we'll get some other keys to the people out there on how the Eagles can win this game. But I just want this fan base. To walk around like you're 7-1. Let's all walk around like it a little bit, man. When Chrome's at the Liberty Bell today, put your chest down.
Right. I was paying homage. I was calling on our fathers of our country to come on in. Give us a little love this week.
Angry Bear said it perfectly. There ain't no PowerPoints here. There ain't no, style points. They're going to get some style points and go beat up on Akron by 75. Like, you don't get any style points in the NFL. You win. So let's go over scores. I'm going to go last on scores because you know what? As much as I'm puffing about being 7-1, it's a tough football game. So I got to think about it a little bit because I don't think this is a clear out easy Eagles. Actually, I got it. 31, 28.
I'm going to go last. Hold on. No, I'll go first.
I'm just going to get it out. I'm going to get out what's in the gut, right? You get the feeling in the gut. That's what I've been thinking this week. 31-28 Eagles.
Just for a reference sake for everybody, Eagles -3 over under 47. And again, 4:00. I'm sure you all know, but 4:05 start time at the link.
4:05 or 4:25?
It says 4:05.
4:05.
I lied to the people earlier. Sorry if you're 15 minutes late or 20 minutes late getting down there. It said 4:25, so that's all me.
Sorry, they have a couple of days in advance. We're good.
So I would go over by 11 on that, Greg. I'll go over by 11. on the over-under, and then it would be a straight push.
Yeah.
The other way. So, what do you guys got? What are you guys thinking? I mean, I think this is a nail biter.
I also think it's going to be a close one. I'm going to go 31-26 is my score.
31-26. Okay.
31-20. Okay, 5. I'm sorry. I was like, you got 3-2? I can't do math. Sorry.
Don, go kiss my ass, Don. All right. Dude, Tony, really? Tone? 45-28?
Hey, it would be nice. Would be nice.
This feels like one of those games. It should be high scoring, but I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as we're expecting. I like that score there by Angry Bird. I'm going to go 27-23 Birds. Did I say Angry Bird? Angry Bear.
Yeah.
My bad.
You had the game in your head.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 27-23 Birds on this one. I feel like this is a game that both teams should put out over 30 points, but I don't know. And I like the secondary too, by the way, here for us. I think another week for Kevin Byard's going to be huge.
Yeah, I agree, Colonel. Couldn't agree with you more on that. Blake,
I'm going to this is kind of like a tough one to call, but I think, with both teams, they're both good, both, probably, I don't know if they're evenly matched, but probably as evenly matched as, one can expect. But I think I said the Eagles would score 38 last week. They did score 38. I think that it's going to be about the same, maybe 1 point less. I think they win. I think it's going to be 37-30 Eagles. It'll be like close game, but they'll win by a touchdown.
Chris Kaufman, I may have that answer. Any word on Roby coming back?
Let me check the practice reports real quick. Maybe that'll be an indicator. He did not practice today, so it's not. I don't know.
He's got 2
It's
more
highly
days.
unlikely. Yeah,
he's got tomorrow, and tomorrow's probably the big one, and then Friday walk through. We've got Eagles. I'm gonna go 31-27 Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, no reason why I can't. No reason why you can't. But like, I want to. This is just an important game for the, for the Phillies.
It's a big one.
It just really is. Sorry, I'm trying to make a Nolan Ryan post right now. They did it for Nolan. You know what I mean? This one's for you, Nolan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got the blood one. You know what I mean? You got the blood all over him, right? Like, this one's for you, Noel. Like, I think I told Chrome this because he was on the show, and I told Mitch, like, I saw him throw a no in Arlington Stadium or whatever it was.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, when I was really young, I think I was like 12, maybe 11, something like that. But it's like one of those you'll never forget.
Yeah.
Like, did I just see a no? You know what I mean? But that's the guy to go see a no.
Yeah, I just texted.
Oh, Greg, real quick. Sorry, babe. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Greg.
Thank you. Appreciate
35.
Look how good happy birthday, buddy.
35 years old. Just do what Lena does. She says every year she's turning 29.
Yeah.
And then she said it this year. I'm like, oh, you really? Yeah, you really are young.
I don't have to trade you in yet, right? Don't need the new upgraded bottle.
Greg,
I appreciate it.
Greg, I wouldn't expect you. I expected you to take them because you were on the fence.
Yeah. And of course, we're playing a game here, right? You know what I mean? Like, we're playing that game. So of course we have to.
All right. So what are you guys thinking? Let's go. Before we go. And again, if you nail the score and give your offensive defensive players of the game a chance for you to win $200. So nobody's won it yet. So win it. Let's go win it. What I want to do now is, before we get in the players of the game, we're going to go a little off script here. And I want 2 keys from each of you guys for the Eagles to win this football game. 2 keys. So I won't start with a too easy one. I'll just start off and just rattle one off quickly. Is this defensive front creating pressure? I think that's one of my keys. They need to get pressure on Sunday, or you let Dak sit back there. Any really good quarterback, you let him sit back there. Best of luck to you. So that will be my first one. Remember, keep commenting in. Let us know your score and give your offensive defensive player of the game. Chance for you to win $200. And we would also appreciate if you hit the damn like and subscribe. All right? Act like you've been here. Stay with us. We love you. What do you got? Who's next? Go ahead.
Just shy of 10K over there on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed, please hit that button for us. Frank, go ahead.
All right. So my key is don't let Deron Bland get a pick, please. I mean, Deron Bland, he doesn't he have like 4 defensive touchdowns already this season? But like, he's definitely stepping up in the place of Trevon Diggs. So Jalen has to be very careful of not throwing in Bland's direction and hopefully not make this an ugly game.
All right. Who's up next?
I think for me, obviously, protecting the football is big, but you got to run the football here. I think that's one of the ways we're going to be able to keep Micah Parsons kind of contained a little bit by mixing up the run, design runs with Jalen included. I think we need this is, if there's any, depending on how hurt he is, but if there's any like truth to the theory that they've been kind of holding off on the design runs for this kind of part of the schedule where, it gets a little bit tougher and you need to show something different. This is the time to start bringing it out. I think you definitely have to utilize the running game in this game, open up that passing game after the fact. So I'm going to look for that. And then defensively, I need a big game from Darius Slay here. That's what we need, because if we can find a way to contain CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup's not anybody that really scares you. Brandon Cooks, we've seen that puppy in the Super Bowl before. Not anything that we can't, at least this secondary shouldn't be able to contain. So contain Diggs, run the football. Or I'm sorry, contain.
He's not dead anymore.
CeeDee, he's
Brandon
finally
Cooks,
alive.
He woke
contain,
up.
Contain CeeDee, run the football. That's my 2 keys.
Good ones. Really good ones.
Yeah, Blake.
Go ahead, Blake. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with what one of my keys will be. I think it's gonna start, like you said, Tom, with up front, with the front 4 with the defense, because we got to get pressure. I believe 100%. If we don't get pressure on Dak, if we let him stand back there, he'll have a tendency to just tear us apart. So if our front 4 and our edge rushers can get to him and have and have a good game, I think the sky's the limit, and then that will just feed off the energy off everybody else. Hopefully it translates to the offense, and the O-line has a big game. And I agree with about that we got to get this running game established, and if we get that established real good, I think it's going to be a good day for the Birds. So those are 2 of my keys. I guess I was only supposed to do 1, but
no,
you
guys,
my keys.
We're good.
No, you're good. Do however they come to you. I need to give a second one.
Yeah, I'm still trying to think of a second one.
Well, I got one while you're thinking. So I think the keys for an Eagles victory, I expect AJ to go over 125 again, but I still think you have to spread the ball around, right? I think a balanced passing game to take advantage of some of those lesser cornerbacks on the other side, because Bland's probably going to be on AJ, right? Or who's the other guy they got? Gilmore. Gilmore will probably be on AJ, which means Bland will probably be on Devonta. So, getting Goddard involved, getting maybe Julio a little bit more involved. I think spreading the ball around while also still making sure that we feed that monster on the outside.
It feels, Greg, to your point, it feels like one of those games that could be a huge Devontae or Dallas game here. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like they could be, and more so Dallas than Devontae, because if that secondary can do what they've kind of been doing the last couple of weeks, I still think that's going to open up the middle of the field for Dallas to be able to make some of those catches and get that run after the catch and really do a little bit of damage in the middle of the field, which in turn then opens it up for AJ and Devontae on the outside to be able to spread the field more.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I think whoever's lined up against Micah Parsons is a key to this football game. You know, when you look at baseball and you look at guys like Corbin Carroll, when he hits, they win. When you look at the Braves, when Acuna hits, they win. You look at the Phillies, when Harper hits, they win. You know, you sort of go as certain guys go in sports. And I think the Dallas Cowboys absolutely go off of Micah Parsons. I think if you allow him to get disruptive early, it just creates a lot of problems for you. I think this front did a tremendous job last year. Getting Cam Jurgens back, from what I'm reading in the chats, is gigantic. I know Martian said it. Like, that's huge. Our run game was so much better with him. So, you know, that's a big addition getting back, right? I thought the guys who have stepped in did a tremendous job. Not easy, but that's part of Stat One U. Yeah, see, I wouldn't suggest Micah Martian moving in the middle on this football team, though. You know, like, I don't think it gets any easier for you. You know, you're going to line up against Dickerson. Good luck. You know, not saying you won't beat him. Just like, that's a tough matchup. Jurgens, he's quick, he's athletic. I don't think it's the easiest matchup. And you already know against the Eagles, him lining up outside is a major issue for him. I mean, you got to go against two, you know, big time tackles that he can beat, of course, but in laying him a lot, right? Who are tremendous. So, you know, maybe his best bet is inside, but that's where it comes back to, like Chrome said, you got to run the football down their throat now. You know, you got to take it to him. You cannot drop back early and often in this football game and allow him to start pinning his ears back, right? And that's where I look at it. You know, you cannot. You got to take the fight to him early. And I'm not Mr. Oh, you got to run the ball all the time. Like, no, I don't need you to run the ball the first 3 downs. But you got to be a little 50-50 early.
You know what, Tom? I think what makes this a difficult matchup, honestly, for Micah, too, is, you know, last year we were able to contain him, obviously, on the outside with our tackles, right?
Yep.
And a little bit of that second-level pass protection with the running back. Miles did a decent job, but DeAndre Swift's one of the best protecting running backs in football. He does an excellent job back there. So if by some chance he is able to get by and get past them, you have that second layer with Swift, who's very, very good at blocking for the quarterback. And I think that's going to make Micah Parsons' job, as well as the rest of the defensive front, that much more difficult. And I'm sure they're going to align when they are pass protecting with the running back. They're going to make sure to tell DeAndre, locate where Mike is at, and that's where you're at. We'll take care of the rest.
Love Greg. He's a big-time A2D listener. His 2 keys are pretty basic, right? But it's the truth when you get into these kinds of dog fights, right? It's turnover battle, control time of possession. You're usually going to lead the game with a win. I mean, it's 101, but that being said, in these types of battles, that 101 matters, man.
Yep.
Who's the more disciplined football team? Who can stay on the football field, right? I think the third biggest key, if I want to give one, is something, you know, Damo put out last, you know, after Sunday, is the amount of plays they've given up over 15 yards. Right? I mean, that was really alarming. And somebody said to him, like, oh, what does it matter? He's like, well, it's going to matter if you get knocked out in the goddamn divisional round over it. You know what I mean? You give out a couple big plays and now you lose a football game, it's going to matter. So those numbers do matter. That's like a trend that you don't want to see. That being said, I think Kevin Byard really helped shore that up. But I'm going to be real with people for a minute. Okay? People don't like it. People have love affairs. People put fucking posters on their freaking ceilings, right? And they go 6 to midnight over it. That is like flat out stunk. Okay? I don't care about the pick week 1 that bounced into his hands and he took to the house. The pick against Miami was a big one for sure. He has not been good enough. Not even close. Okay? And his sidekick has flat out stunk. He stunk up the joint. All right? And Bradbury. So those two need to figure it the hell out ASAP. Okay? I'm tired of those two getting beat like drums. I'm a little tired of that. Okay, I think Kevin Byard definitely helps it out, but he ain't no big play shit. All right, You
Well, I
guys
was
can all
gonna-
love him on Twitter, and I love Darius Slay. I think he's a great human being. All right? I think he's an A+ dude. That being said, we are not in the business here to not call it how we see it, no matter if I like a player or dislike a player. I love everybody who wears Eagles green. But when you don't perform, my job and our job is to tell you, hello, I got a big one this week, baby. You two need to act like number one corners. Because it's looking like, now we're 7-1, but it's looking like maybe we should have went elsewhere. Right? Maybe we shouldn't have brought you both back. It's a luxury to have both of you back for sure. I'm not mad about it. Okay? I'll take you both back over the unknown any day of the week. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Okay? Can't call Jalen out at times early on in the year. And then as we're 8 weeks in, you two look like you're on goddamn milk cartons. You look slow as shit. Okay? So I'm tired of it. That's all. Nobody ever calls that dude out enough. We let him run with shit like he's still a big play corner in this league, and he hasn't been. All right? I need some of Darius from 2 years ago. Where'd he go? He's still there? He ain't that old. So that's a key to me too, is the 15-yard plays against a team that likes to have the big play against you, right, guys?
Yeah.
Well, I do agree with you.
And they have in theory, they have the playmakers that work for it too, right? CeeDee and Gallup, right? Get down the field.
Yeah.
Tony
Gallup
Pollard
kills
as
us.
well.
Gallup
Tony Pollard
kills
as
us,
well, right? And we know
Gallup's going to look like AJ, Greg. Gallup's going to look like
absolutely.
AJ after Sunday.
I think Wilson's got a cousin over there still probably catching footballs too. My second key though is not really tied to it at all. Actually, it's just winning in the red zone. Right? We've had our red zone struggles, and we got to score touchdowns. We can't settle for field goals in the red zone. We can't settle for fumbles inside the 5-yard line this week. Right? We got to finish inside the red zone, and then vice versa. You got to win on the other side. You got to force field goals, right? You got to stand and not give up touchdowns inside the red zone.
Oh, absolutely. We were talking about the front a little bit. Josh Sweat has the third most pressures in the NFL.
He's been really good.
So really good, and a great signing at the time for Howie Roseman when you look back at it on another guy he got early, but a guy who's really developed into a really good player, right? Wasn't. I know a couple of years ago I was hard on him because other guys were like crowning him, right? But I'm like, he wasn't where he is now. So
no,
I always give credit. Like I ripped the guy, I'm gonna give credit right back to a guy, right? You develop, you turn yourself into a damn good player in this league, and we're happy to have you, Josh. You know what I mean? That's how that works. Happy to have you.
Well, I think too when you add in right, I think Brandon Graham has obviously struggled a little bit this year. He's definitely lost a step, and having a guy like Josh Sweat step up has been really big for the defensive line. Really, really important. But yeah, no, I agree with you guys. As far as the secondary and the playmakers, they got to be better. I'm a Bradbury guy, but it hasn't looked the same this year. And you wonder about the loss of CJGJ, missing him this year in that secondary as well. So I do like bringing in the Kevin Byard though, and now I'm interested to see how I'm really high on Reed. I like Sidney Brown a lot. So these three kind of out there in that safety rotation, I think could be something really, really special with another week. And maybe hopefully now we'll give those guys that extra protection back in the secondary to where they can do what they do best. They can cover better. They can maybe take a few more chances and come up with a few more turnovers and have the personnel back there that can help to kind of, obviously lend the support for them.
Absolutely, Crum. Absolutely.
Sure.
Some big time.
Yeah, I don't think BG had a statistical play last week. Like he might have played a couple of downs, but he made zero statistical.
He has a half a sack this year, and I don't think he has very many tackles.
No, and guess what? I said it on Sunday. He ain't here for that anymore.
Oh,
right?
Sure.
He's absolutely here for the leadership and the teaching of the younger players and having that culture inside your locker room, right? And sometimes you pay for that at the end of careers, right? you pay for it because you know.
We should have did it with Brian Dawkins. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Speaking of Dog Talk, good chance he's on this Friday. They're going to confirm that with Urban and Hollis. So make sure you stay tuned for Vetted with those guys. I did put a little, just while we're talking about this, I did put a little feeler out for the great Bryce Harper. So see where that goes. Okay.
My dad apparently talked to his uncle this week on their cruise.
Christ. I mean, like, get a card. You know what I mean?
I know.
Get a card. Get a phone number.
Get a card. Get a phone number.
He said he said he tried to sign him up for the show, and I'm like, well, you didn't call my birthday, so strike one there. Like, let's go.
Doc's my guy. Like, he's obviously an all-time favorite, right? You know, and he's the best, and you got to check him out, right? I think Harper coming on here breaks the internet. Like, I don't think it breaks the internet.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? What? And I think we'll just leave it where I think I can make this happen.
Nice. 5
episodes, 15 minutes a pop. Nothing personal. We're just going to talk baseball, right? And I'm trying to do a Chrome with me, you, him, and Mitch. Maybe I'll let Greg come in because, you know, he's got to show him the poster on the ceiling. Well, like, I would love, and I even talked to Ben about it too. I talked to Ben Revere tonight about it too. And I get Ben in the mix of it, make him feel a little bit more comfortable. You know what I mean? I think a lot of that stuff has to do with comfortability, for obvious reasons, right? But we're great interviewers, so I mean, it ain't our first rodeo. I'll be a little starstruck. I'm gonna be honest with him too, because I think he would appreciate my honesty, and I would tell Bryce I was not. There's no player in the history of Philadelphia sports that I despise early on in their career that it turned into love. And I'm going to tell them, I was supposed to hate you. Like, that was my job, was to hate you. My job when you were in Washington wasn't to like you.
Yeah.
And then you came here, I didn't know what to do with my hands. I didn't know what to do with my hands. And now you've grown into everything I asked for in a baseball player that I asked my kids to be, that I coach. And I think if there's a guy who will love that and respect that, I think that's Bryce Harper. And you know what? You know what? Rip this timestamp right here. Let's get this timestamp in there. All right? We'll put it out for Bryce.
47:25.
Bryce, we're asking you to come on A2D and let's just talk shop because we're big fans. We're big fans. There ain't nobody bigger. Greg got the poster above his bed. It's going to make your wife jealous. Greg's over here making your wife jealous. I mean, look at it. I mean, Blake just fell off the chair thinking about Harp coming on. And Joel did fight lions. Yes, it's true, Don. It's true. We'll never get Joel. Certain guys are prima donnas when it comes to this game. Joe to me, he's my son, but he'll never come on. All right, score predictions. Yeah, Joe, he would break the internet. I think Harper's a bigger star than Joel Embiid, though. I don't know. The NBA is so global, so maybe not. You know what I mean? Maybe not. I don't know. Who's a better get? Good question for a show. Who's a bigger get? Joel Embiid or Bryce Harper? I mean, arguably one's the face of baseball in a way. One of the faces of baseball.
At least over the last 2 years, right? With the Phillies being back good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the Phillies being the talk of a lot of the MLB and stuff like that.
A guy who's been a megastar since he's been 16. One guy was fighting lions. The other guy was a megastar from the beginning. I don't know. It's tough. Don says Joel definitely. I don't know that to be true in this city. I think the way we feel, like, I love Joel, but the way we feel about guys, I think there's way more love for Bryce Harper, even though he hasn't got over the hump per se here. But there's way more love for him for coming and changing everything that was Philadelphia Phillies baseball to Joel, who's sort of just, he's been here, he's been great, but Joel personally has been through so much stuff here, which is almost not fair to him. Where at least Bryce has been able to come here and build a culture of guys coming here where that hasn't happened for Joel. Right? And I think if it ever did, which we're going to get into later, I think he's got a big chance to get over the hump that's been here. Josh, thinks Bryce.
The other thing of it too is,
could you imagine that, Greg? Could you imagine
Bryce and Dawkins?
Bryce and Dawkins together? That would break the internet.
That would kill it.
Nobody's ever done that.
Goodness.
Nobody's ever done that.
That'd be crazy.
2 mega stars from different sports in different eras.
And
when that happen?
And especially Philadelphia megastars too. Not even and globally. But the other thing too is, like, you got to remember, guys like Bryce and the MLB, they're in your living room every day.
Yeah.
Right? MLB or NBA is like 2-3 times a week sometimes. You know what I mean? Baseball is every day, and they're in your face.
Greg says he really believes that Joel would come on in a heartbeat. No. I'm gonna explain to you how this. I'm gonna explain to you how this works, Greg. All right, you better be sliding an envelope across the table. So all right, we had some fun with that. All right, I love Joel, love Bryce. So, but now we got to give her score. We gave her score predictions. Now we got to give her our players of the game. I don't know if I agree with Greg that AJ goes over 125 again. Like, I think he might go over 100, but I like 125. I think it's asking a lot again, because obviously they're going to do everything in their power, Dan Quinn, to try to slow him down. Doesn't mean they will, because he is always open. But I'm going to go back to my son like I did last week. I think we're waiting for a big Devonta game. He had a good game last week, though, right? He really did. I think he has a monster one. Because who you covering him with? Gilmore? Put Gilmore on him? Man, I'm a big Stephon Gilmore fan, but better get your track shoes on, babe. Better get your track shoes on if you think you're matching up against him all day, because that can get ugly for the Dallas Cowboys. So give me Devontae. I said it last week, 2 TDs. Didn't happen. 2 TDs, over $125. Actually, over $150. Monster game.
I love it.
Yeah. What do you guys got?
Okay, Frank.
For my offensive player of the game, I have no idea where to go with this one. I wrote down whomever is not going up against DaRon Bland. That's who I got as my offensive player of the game. So whoever's not going up against DaRon Bland, that's my player of the game. So that's where I'm going to stand on that one.
Going wide receiver here.
It's a wide receiver. I just know it's a wide receiver. Not sure which one of the Batman it's going to be, but whoever's not going up against Bland, we're good.
All right, I'm going to go with, like I stated before, it's going to start with the O-line, and I believe this is going to be a big game for DeAndre Swift. I'm going to say he's over 20 carries, at least probably $170, and at least a couple touchdowns. So I mean, it's a big day for Swift.
I love that. Sorry, I'm just looking up some things on DaRon Bland. That's all.
It feels like that too. It feels like a DeAndre game, though. To your point, Blake, right? Like they kind of went away from him, right? Kind of limited carries in the first half. You know, he kind of got a couple, carries and yards in the second half. But it feels like a game that they are gonna go there. I'm going to go. Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup.
Wow.
It's fun.
That's fun. I'm going with the guy who needs it, because I think this is a statement game. This is a Jalen Hurts game. This is an opportunity for him to show he's the big dog in the NFC East and one of the top, if not the top in the NFC, one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now. This is a chance to put that stamp on that. So I'm going Jalen Hurts here, throwing for 3 tutties and a rushing TD.
Oh, lost Tom. Tom, you want to mute yourself.
I think you muted yourself there, bud.
Tony, by the way, would love DeAndre Swift 167 yards.
That would be nice.
Sorry, I was coughing. I know he's taking some balls to the house. He's been a playmaker, but I mean, he hasn't picked off anybody of substance besides Stafford. So,
and everybody picks off Stafford.
So just to try to make us feel better about it, right? Like he has his 4 picks, he has his 3 touchdowns. But they never came back-to-back weeks, right? So they're very spaced out. You got your week 1, a pick, a touchdown, 2 weeks to nothing, then 2 picks, a touchdown, 2 weeks to nothing, pick and a touchdown. So from that trend, to make Frank feel better, looks like the Ron Bland is not picking a ball for taking it to the house for another 2 weeks. So we're clear. We're clear. Nothing to see here, guys. We're good. We're good. And the first ball of the game, I'm sure. After that comment. Everybody go offensive? Everybody give their offensive? Right?
Yeah.
Everybody good? Okay. Defensive players of the game. So Jalen Carter is playing, I believe. He is cleared.
Looks like it.
Okay. Give me Kevin Byard. Picks off that. Big pick to seal it. Big pick to seal the game. And if there was a star, he would go stand on it. I don't know. At least some of the other guys see you guys. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of good guys up front, etc. That take. Now, Bradbury did drop a pick that would have went to the house last week, just to confirm that with you guys. When I was driving over from Long Island, but Merrill said, if you caught that, nobody was going to catch him. And I'm like, that's fun. That was my defensive player of the game. Thanks, James. Loser. I say loser with love. All right. What do you guys got?
I'm going Jalen Carter here because this is a Dak. I'm in the division now game. This is where he comes in. He's going to start throwing some of that offensive line around, and I think he's going to get 2.5 sacks in this game, and let Dak Prescott know, hey brother, this is a different rivalry now.
Yeah.
Are they still dealing with offensive line issues?
I know Smith hasn't been. I know he didn't practice today. I don't know if it's still with the neck stinger and whatnot, but
I knew
he didn't practice.
One of those Moose Knucks was out. Was iffy.
Yeah.
And like some of the other players on Dallas,
most
of those that haven't practiced today, some of it was just like personal rest and all that. So
okay. So Andrew, if that is true about Tyron Smith, I mean they're definitely in trouble.
Yeah, it definitely hurts.
Not a game I want to be losing him in.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to Arizona without him. You sure as hell ain't coming here without him.
You can play the Rams against without him.
Yeah, that ain't gonna fly with Sweat, Reddick, and the likes. You know what is a little concerning though? And maybe I'm just missing somebody, right? You got BG, you have Reddick, you have Sweat. You have Barnett. Who the hell else am I missing on the edge? Why am I drawing a blank this late at night?
Nolan Smith.
That's it, right? They're the guys. Me. You know what I mean? That's where BG and Barnett aren't really helping that.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, not really. So you wonder.
Well, it's funny too. You got Reddick and Sweat like at the top end of the matrix, right? And then you got BG and Barnett at the bottom end. And then you just got a rookie who's just trying to find his way, right?
Yeah, you got baby. Your interior is fucking loaded, right?
Yes.
With Carter, Davis, Fletcher, and Milton.
Interior is so loaded you were able to trade one of those guys for nothing.
Did I say edge, Martian? Holy shit, it's late. That's dry jock shit. I apologize, everybody listening. I am not a dryer sheet. Defense ends. Sorry, defense ends. Put an asterisk there. What does that mean, Josh? Bro Reddick got us like 18 sacks. I'm saying like after those two, it's not like, oh wow, we're so deep there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's why I really thought that Howie was going to do something.
That's the move they needed to make. I think that's I mean obviously the Byard move had to happen. I really people were throwing out Derrick Henry. To me, that's a luxury. And listen, it works. I mean, we saw San Francisco go out and get a quote unquote luxury who has scored in like 16 straight games. So I get it. But at the end of the day, I really thought they would go out and get a pass rusher for the edge time. So didn't happen. But again, when you have an elite guy like Hassan Reddick, a guy who's emerging more and more, it seems by the week, in Josh Sweat. Maybe it's not so bad. Nolan's young, and hopefully maybe this back half BG gets a little bit gets the motor going a little bit. But
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
I think he's a feature this week from CT on Fox. So I saw she was in town at BG's house doing the in-depth interview with BG.
You would find that.
When you follow
right.
CT, you know, come on.
Yeah, everybody else give me the defensive players of the game so we can get to a commercial break and come back and get to our locks. And we got some Sixers talk, obviously. To
Get past
into.
whatever Greg just said the last 30
Yeah.
seconds.
Trying to move on.
All right, I'll go. I think this is like I said, like I think I stated earlier with the defense. I think the front four is going to be a major impact in this game. I expect big games from Jalen Carter and Josh Sweat in this one, a couple sacks apiece, and front four is going to do some damage. And like you guys said earlier, if Tyron Smith is out, that is not bode well for Dallas, especially against our front four.
No, Marshall said he's weirdly excited for the Sixers talk. So am I, brother. So am I. So I'm going to be looking forward to it.
Frank, did you go?
I
He didn't go yet. Nope.
For my defensive player of the game, I also want to go with Kevin Byard, but let's go with Ed Reed Blankenship as my defensive player of the game.
Ooh, I like that, Frank. Also, I meant to say this like 10 times to you already. Love your outfit.
Well, thank you.
It's a good outfit.
Yeah.
I can't find my good Eagles one. I don't know what the hell I did with it, but that's
well,
a great.
Frank,
that's
I'm
a great,
disappointed in you, Frank. You've had a mustache for how long? Now I have a mustache, and you grow a goatee on me the week I'm on with you.
I don't even know where I'm going with the facial hair.
I might cancel the show if both of you had just regular mustaches. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's too many. Like
Jimmy, when I have an Eagles hat on, I look like semi-skinny Andy Reid.
I mean, I had the mustache during last week's game or during the game against the Dolphins. I'm just like,
I think you might need to go back for the game.
I'm going back and forth between beard and stash. Not sure where I'm going to settle with yet.
Everybody out there, make sure you get your score predictions in here. Offense, defensive players of the game. Chance to win $200. All right, it's a no-brainer. I don't know why you won it. You got to be a follower though, or a subscriber. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, follow, stay with us. Right, we got a lot to go over on the other side. We're going to give you our locks of the week. We'll run through the slate of games for you. We won't take too long with that so we can get into some Sixers talk. Obviously, they traded James Harden. We have a lot to talk about when it comes to that and the direction of the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm excited for it. I know all these guys are. So this is A2D Wednesday nights, and we will be right back.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, proudly celebrating 40 years and our new, bigger showroom.
Twice the size and twice the fun.
More pool tables by Olhausen. More dartboard sets, including custom reclaimed backboards. More bar and kitchen stools that can change a room.
And more bars, including pre-built and custom.
Hot tubs, skee ball, shuffleboard, outdoor, and fun. Royal Billiard and Recreation, your ultimate game room store. Now located on Bethlehem Pike in Colmar.
In our family, food is our daily bond. My nonna, affectionately called Mama by many, found solace and joy in the kitchen, sharing her love through delicious creations. She turned her culinary passion into a flourishing business alongside her husband and sons in 1983. Celebrating 40 years is a testament to our exceptional team, friends, family, and beloved customers. With gratitude, we look forward to the future, expanding our brand to share the highest quality Italian food and wine nationwide. Our heartfelt thanks to everyone who has played a part in our story. Grazie mille.
Hats.com is the premier destination for quality and fashion-forward hats and more, with designs for every style and trend. Locally based and run by Philly sports team fanatics, Hats.com can help you elevate your hat John. Utilize the easy-to-use guides at Hats.com to find your perfect size and style, and shipping and returns are free. Hats.com. Find yourself in a hat. Use code Philly for 15% off your order. Hats.com.
Welcome back, everybody. This is A2D Wednesday nights, only on A2D Radio. And we are brought to you by Royal Billiard. We talked about them a little bit earlier, but make sure you go check out our good friends over at Hats.com, like that was just talked about by Irvin and you can get 15% off your order for using code Philly. So that's a no-brainer. Okay. And now we're going to get into our locks of the week, and that is brought to you by Gleason's Bar. They're located at 6700 Mill Creek Avenue in Levittown, PA. You can use promo code A2D. You get 10% off your order whenever you dine in, takeout, or online. Gleason's Bar and Steaks.com is where you can find them. Go get yourself a little Trenton, baby. Go get you a little Trenton. Delicious. Go soak it in. All right? I know you do, Greg. I know you do. When are you coming up here?
Tomorrow.
I might just have you go up there and grab me one. I mean, bring it over like the last time. Bring it over like the last time.
Damn right it does.
Yes, probably does. I'm sure. if I had a guess. Okay, locks of the week. Frank, do you want to do the games? You want me to do the games?
I actually have it up on one of the apps.
Good.
So
good, because I don't want to do it.
All right.
No, I'm glad
so
this
our
is Frank's
first
segment
game,
right here.
This is Frank's go. Let's go, Frankie. It's your time to shine. Your 15 minutes of fame.
No comment.
Have you had more 15
over
minutes?
something else? Over something else. Okay. So our first matchup, we got the Thursday night football matchup between the Tennessee Titans heading to what was the big catch-up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Currently, the line is at 2.5 for Pittsburgh. The over-under set at 37.
Steelers.
Yeah, it's a game with two terrible offenses, or what looks on paper to be two terrible offenses. But this defense is a lot better than what Will Levis faced last week in Atlanta. Or with Atlanta. So, yeah, give me the Steelers.
Yeah, I would take the Steelers in this. So I'm going to be interested, though, to see what Levis does, though. I did pick him up in my one league that I'm in. It's like a keeper league, and I'm, like, way out of it at this point. So I picked him up, took a flyer. Maybe if he is a baller, I could keep him in the 15th round next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go Steelers on that one as well.
As they should, right? Too. You shouldn't lose this game at home.
I'm definitely not reading Martian's comment. I'm nope. Give me the Steelers.
All right, everybody go. Next one, Frank.
Yeah.
All right. So we go to the Sunday morning game in the wonderful land of Deutschland, Germany, as the Miami Dolphins take on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs favored by 1.5. No, it's not Frankfurt, Munich, excuse me. With the game in Munich, Kansas City favored by 1.5, over under set at 50.5.
Who are they playing again?
Miami and Kansas
Dolphins,
City.
Chiefs.
Oh, that game's over there. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a waste of the game, right?
So I'm going to go Miami here. I did hear an interesting fact that could be pure coincidence, but all the teams it seems that when they go on these overseas games, the team that arrives first wins the game.
Interesting.
Miami's already there. The Chiefs, I think, get there tomorrow. I just think Miami, that the offense is too high powered. And listen, we were able to kind of contain it for the most part, but the defensive front with the Chiefs is really strong, but I think they can exploit that secondary. So I'm going to go Dolphins here to cover.
All right.
It's funny. You can look at this. You can look at this game two ways, right? You can go. Tyreek Hill obviously wants to stick it to the Chiefs.
That's another great point.
So
yeah.
the Dolphins and Crum. That's not a point to look over. That the Dolphins are already there, right? It absolutely helps in those situations. And then on the flip side, the Chiefs just got embarrassed, right? The Chiefs literally just got embarrassed by Denver. So it's like, which storyline is going to be the ultimate one?
Well, did you guys see the New Heights podcast and Kelsey's remarks?
No.
Travis Kelce talking about that offense. He said, I've never He said, I don't think I've ever actually been a part of a team, particularly this late in the season, on an offense that seems to be this anemic. Guys aren't catching footballs. Guys aren't doing it. So he kind of, he took his own accountability, but he kind of called his team out, basically, and said, we're not doing enough to win football games. And he said, I'm concerned with how this is looking. And then Patrick Mahomes went out and said, I feel like everybody's going to copy what the Broncos did. So maybe they're getting in their heads a little bit here too. I think a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's Patrick Mahomes. And they're going to, because they lost last week in Denver, this is one of those games where they bounce back. It can very well go the other way. Their receiving stinks. Rice is a decent player, but they should be on
touchdown, hit him in the hand.
Yeah, they stink. So, it really would not shock me at all if Miami not just wins this game, but maybe wins it by 2 tutties.
That being said, that was well thought out. I couldn't agree. I agree with you. It's hard to disagree. Best quarterback in football is on the one side. Arguably one of the best coaches in football is on the one side. They just got goddamn embarrassed. Right? Ain't no shot Chiefs are losing this football game. Dolphins have been on a little bit of a tailspin. Nobody wants to talk about it after we kicked their ass. Frank, give me the Chiefs for a lock.
You had me think when you said that's a well thought out thing. You had me thinking of my cousin Vinny, where remember the part where he whatchamacallit? He questions the one thing and the judge is like, that is a well thought out, articulated thing. Overruled. That's kind of where you took me there for a minute.
That's where I was. You know what I mean? That's where
the objection. That's where I was trying to think.
Objection.
Joe Pesci tries to object. Yeah.
So that's where I look at it. They got the better of the two quarterbacks.
That's right? The X factor. Patrick Mahomes is the X factor in everything.
Yeah, and I listen. I think Andy's done this way too much in his career, where they don't surround their star quarterback with enough. I think we're watching it in Kansas City a little bit, but I still think it's a damn good offense, and it's a great quarterback who can make plays on his own. I think it's going to be a great game, but I'm going to take the Chiefs.
I got Chiefs.
I'm going to take the Dolphins.
All right.
I think because of what happened last week in Denver, I think this is a bounce back game for the Chiefs. And like I said, you can't count out Patrick Mahomes, but I think it's close. I think Kansas City might be trailing a little bit late in the game, maybe by 3 or 4, but he brings them back with a touchdown, down the last 2 minutes to win it. So I think it'll be a nail biter, but I think the Chiefs prevail.
All right. Everybody go?
Yep. All right. The next game on the slate, the Los Angeles Rams head up north, take on the Packers in Green Bay. Green Bay favored by 3. Over-under set at 38 at the time of this game being announced right now.
Packers.
See, it's weird because Stafford, I think, is questionable, right? Or is he definitely out? And I don't know what Jordan Love is. Yeah, I can't figure him out. He looked like he was going to be a player to start first couple of weeks, but man, that offense looks anemic. Even the running game with Jones and what's his name?
And
Dylan. They can't get anything going offensively. I'm going to go Rams on this one.
I'll take the home team, but for no other reason than that.
Give
Blake?
me.
Oh, sorry, Frank. I thought you were moving on my bed.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams on this one. I like the Rams.
What's the over-under on this?
Over-under is set at 38.5 right now.
Ooh, that's low.
Yeah.
Next one.
I thought Chrome was going to do a lock. I'm like,
no. I was thinking about it, but
All right. The 3-5 Washington Commanders head to the big Razor in Gillette Stadium, take on the 2-6 Patriots. The Pats favored by 3.5, over under set at 40.5.
Patriots, lock it in.
Patriots, no lock.
Yeah, I mean, they just traded all their defensive playmakers on the defensive line. So I'm going to have to take Patriots here as well.
They're also just not playing us, so they're going to get torched, right? Joseph Stenson Bennett's in AA, so he's not playing.
Yeah, just because I can't stand Belichick, I'm just going to go with Washington because I can't stand New England, so I won't even pick them even if they have a good chance to win. I'm not picking them. So Washington, but they probably won't win. But I'm going to pick them anyway.
I just want Zappy hour to happen. Give me the Patriots. Everybody made their picks?
Yep.
All righty. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers head to Houston to take on the Texans. Texans 2.5, over under set at 40.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Texans here. I'm going to lock this one in.
I too will take the Texans, no lock.
Yeah, give me the Texans. No lock.
Give me the Fighting Baker Mayfields. This has a chance. This is one of those types of games where potentially, is one of Baker's last starts for this season, right? If they win, he probably stays. If they lose and go in 3-5, then you potentially look to see what else you have in like Kyle Trask or whoever else, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
That's the way I'm looking at it.
I'm going to go Houston.
All right.
All right, everybody went. All right, the Josh Dobless Arizona Cardinals take on the Cleveland Browns. The Brownies favored by 8. Over under set at 37.5.
Lock the Browns in.
And I will
Who's
lock
even
the Brownies.
quarterbacking for it? Who's
I was just about. I know. I
quarterbacking?
was just about to answer that. Is Deshaun Watson playing this week?
For who?
You mean Kyler?
No. Kyler might. Yeah, I mean, there's a chance Kyler plays, but it's
I know Deshaun Watson. I think it's Walker, right?
Yeah, I think it's PJ Walker.
It's PJ Walker for that. It's Tune.
Clayton
what's his
Tune,
first
yeah.
name? Clayton Tune is the scheduled starter for Arizona.
But there is a chance that Kyler could play.
With the possibility of Kyler.
Well, I'll put it. Listen, I'm gonna lock in the Browns here. I mean, they've shown they could play a little bit with PJ Walker, so they have enough playmakers there. I think they'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, regardless, I'm with you. I'm going Browns.
All right, next game on the slate. Chicago heads to New Orleans, taking on the Saints. Saints favored by 8.5, over under set at 41.
Saints.
Yeah, Saints.
All right, next one.
Give me the Bears.
Oh.
Saints should be favored by anybody over 8.5 points.
Yeah.
I mean, they should be favored over the Bears by 8.5.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know if we watched the Bears at all. I mean, at least the Saints have like a really good defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're locking Chicago in that one?
No,
Greg,
you said no. It's just Chicago.
Oh,
No
you're saying
lock.
Chicago. All right, no lock.
I ain't
Okay. Next game, Seattle heads to Baltimore. Take on the Ravens. Ravens favored by 6, over under set at 44.
Give me a lock of the Ravens.
Give me Ravens.
I
Yeah,
too
I'll
will
take the
take the Ravens.
As will I.
Same here, Ravens.
All right, next game, the Josh Dobbs Vikings take on the Taylor Heineke Atlanta Falcons. Falcons favored by 5. Over under set at 37.
Are they? Well, I don't think Dobbs is playing this week.
Oh, well.
Is Ritter? Are they definitely benching Ritter?
Yeah, I heard Heineke's starting.
Yep, the Heineke keg can is back in.
Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, I agree. I'll take the Falcons as well.
Give me the Vikes. Skull Vikes.
I am gonna go with, give me Minnesota. Oh, it's Jaron Hall. All right, okay. Did not. Yeah, I wasn't sure if Dobbs was going to be starting right away, but all right, Jaron Hall. I do not know much about Jaron Hall, so I'm going to take Atlanta then. Those
took over for the MILF Hunter.
Mormons galore.
Oh my God.
Yeah, give me the Vikings on that one too.
All right, I'll take Atlanta. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts heading to Carolina, take on the Panthers. Colts favored by 2.5, over under set at 44.
I think the Panthers, in terms of like Bryce Young, he's got a lot of criticism for whatever reason. I don't think he's had like a bad rookie year at all. Like when you really look at his numbers and everything, I think he's gotten a really bad rap because they're 0-6 or 0-7, wherever they are. They lose last week too.
No, they got their first win last week though.
What, against Houston?
Yeah.
They did beat Houston. Okay, sorry. I was traveling back. So
I
missed a lot of stuff, but I knew that was a big matchup. Did he play well in that football game?
Fair.
Yep. So
he outdueled Stroud.
Well, if you heard, CJ Stroud showed me a lot interview-wise on the things he said about Bryce Young. And if you haven't had a chance to hear that, I would listen to that, right? The week leading up into that game. That's how leaders talk. Talking about a different guy, not even on the same team, but just the way he talks. I mean, again, CJ Stroud got a bad rep because of where he played college football at. And if you really know about CJ Stroud, that dude is an elite pocket passer. He's elite. He was elite at Ohio State. He's elite in the NFL already as a rookie. Okay, but I think CJ got a lot of heat because of how the teams played. But I mean, not CJ, Bryce, but Bryce Young's played well. Give me them again. Give me him again. We win again this week. Sorry, I just went on that a little bit, but give me it again. It's just something that hit me.
No, it's fair. I mean, they came off the bye, looked good against, got the win against, Houston. I think they carried over. I mean, what's Indianapolis coming into town with, right? I mean, you know what I mean?
Minshew.
Gardner Minshew mania, right? I love me some Minshew mania, but
yeah, they played pretty well though. Indy, they've been in a lot of games and played some really tough teams.
Mm-hmm.
To Bryce's credit too, I think he's helped to revive Adam Thielen's career quite a bit this year. I mean, Adam Thielen's having an unbelievable season.
Well, it just shows you if you got things around him that are weapon worthy. It seems like he can distribute the football pretty well. And that was probably CJ's worst game of the year. And it wasn't even like horrendous. He didn't turn the football over, but that was his worst game of the year. So, Carolina's defense came ready to play too, Chrome.
Oh, absolutely.
Miles Sanders had 2 carries for no yards.
A little surprised he didn't get traded.
Oh, we lost. Hey. I think you got the Sopranos ending. There he is. So what you were saying?
Oh no, I was just a little surprised that Miles maybe didn't get traded there. I heard his name thrown around quite a bit during the trade deadline there. So
he's a loser. People just decided they didn't want him.
Chuba Hubbard has revived himself.
I would lay Miles Sanders out. If I had one-on-one with him in the hole, I lay his little sissy ass out, and I'll stand on that hill. I'll die on that hill. He's a kitty cat. I hope he knows he's a kitty cat. Okay, he has stuff to say about the boys and birds of a feather. If you don't remember, if you forget, I didn't forget. Don't forget, we'll talk about how people play. Well, you play. And you think you're better than you are. Let's not do this tonight. Let's keep it going. Keep it going.
Frank, lock in Indy for me in this game.
I will take the Fighting Stikens. That's my pick. As Josh K would say in the chat.
See, you got me pissed off now, Miles Sanders. So now I got to lock it in now. Lock it in and send his ass home.
Chrome, there's a great word of advice. It's better to be pissed off than it is to be pissed on.
Well, speaking of piss, I got to do that. Give me the next game, Frank.
The next game, I don't know how this is a 4:25 game on Fox. The New York Giants head to Sin City to take on the Antonio Pierce-led Las Vegas Raiders with Aiden O'Connell starting at quarterback.
Antonio Pierce is going to fill you up.
Yo, it's fine. I wanted to add something about this whole Las Vegas Raiders thing. Like when I was on the internet today, there was like a meme. It was funny. It was really funny. Like it was a kid like going up trick or treating like on Halloween, and the one card came out of the bag saying, "Tell your dad Josh McDaniels got fired."
Oh, that's brutal.
Or it said, "Tell your dad got fired," whatever it was. I think that's what it said.
That's fucked up to do to the kid. Jesus God. People are animals out there. That's funny.
Yeah.
Give me the fight in Aiden O'Connell's.
I'll also take the Aiden O'Connell's, and I'm gonna lock in the spread because why the hell not?
Yeah, Daniel Jones is not playing in this game, right?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't know.
Dynamite dropping by me.
Give me the Giants.
Yeah, you think they get off the schneid?
The Raiders. It just fired everybody. You know what I mean? So, and sometimes that rallies the group.
I was going to say, that's the kind of game that those teams now will come out and have, like, maybe it's just for 1 week.
Yeah. But I don't think they have enough talent to come out for 1 week and do it.
Devontae Adams might have 3 tutties in this game.
I very well could. Just give me the Giants for no reason.
I think any of us pick anybody for this game for no reason.
Yeah, I gotta go pee. I don't even care about the rest of the picks. Finish them up. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna take the Raiders in this one.
Game. We got the Bills heading to Cincinnati, taking on the Bengals. Bengals favored by 2. Over under set at 49.5.
Oh, the Damar Hamlin game.
Ooh.
What was the line, Frank? I'm sorry.
2.5 for Cincinnati.
Ooh. Give me the home dog. Right? It's in Buffalo?
It is in Cincinnati.
Oh, I'm paying attention. My bad. Still, give me the dog. Give me the Buffalo Bills.
I'm gonna say, give me Cincinnati on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cincy as well. Yeah, Sunday night home, crowd will be jacked. Yeah, give me Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati's kind of figured it out at this point. Joe Burrow looks like he's healthy finally. I think there's concerns for Buffalo, to be honest. I think there's way too much inconsistency there. And Gabe Davis has had a pretty decent year, but I don't think well enough at this point to be sufficient enough as a secondary option with Stephon Diggs. So I'm going to go Cincy here. I think Cincy's poised to make a run at this point.
Joe Burrow finally looks healthy, though. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. He looked the way. If you watched him this past week, the way he was moving around the pocket,
running, scrambling, he looked like he was healthy again. First time all year, and naturally they played really well. And it's perfect timing because that was the first start where you were like, all right, he outperformed Kirk Cousins, right? Because for a while he was sitting on a lot of people's benches probably, I know he was on mine because you're not starting him those first couple weeks. And then thankfully Kirk gets hurt. Now he moves right into the starting lineup like you don't even miss a beat.
Yep.
We're good.
And all right, good. And our last game, Justin Herbert and the Chargers head over to the Meadowlands to take on another Mormon that is playing this week in Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. The Chargers favored by 3.5, over/under set at 40.
You're gonna think I'm crazy. Lock in the Jets for me.
You're not crazy. I'm locking the Jets in too.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Jets as well. I like how their defense is playing. So, yeah, give me the Jets.
I think there's a lot of inconsistency in the second half.
Yeah.
With the Chargers offense. And if that Jets defense shows up, that's going to be a long day from start to finish for Justin Herbert and the Chargers. So, and I think they will show up. So, I think that team looks rejuvenated with the chance of Aaron Rodgers coming back too.
Yeah, and you know what? The biggest thing too, Chrome, is Zach Wilson's not turning the football over.
No.
Right? He's not making a bunch of big plays either, but he's not turning the football over, right? So, I mean, we saw, I don't know if that we actually saw it because not many people probably watched it, but you saw almost a record amount of punts. But for a team like the Jets, you'd rather punt than turn the football over. I think most teams, obviously, you would rather punt than turn the football over. That's really, dynamite, drop-ins, from me. But for the Jets and their defense, it's even more, crucial.
What he's doing, Greg, is he's being a game manager, which is really all that team needs at this point.
Yes.
Just to be able to stay in the hunt for the playoff picture.
Yeah, and I'm sure they would love to just get a few more big plays, a few more points from the offense, right? Yes. Score a couple touchdowns here and there. But yeah, no, absolutely.
I'll take the Jets as well. All righty. I guess that wraps up the locks of the week, I guess.
It sure does. And Frank, I got you my TD parlay here, Frank.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Greg. Super special parlay. That's right.
Ready?
I think you've had an offer so far this season.
Well, I've had an offer, but I've only really missed like one. Right?
Yeah, it's like so all but one.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do,
Travis
Greg? You do
Kelce.
3?
This one I'm doing 4. I'm kind of going chalk here.
I want to throw one in with you too. You go first, though.
I'm kind of going chalk here. I'm going Travis Kelce, Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, and Devontae Adams.
That's a pretty good one.
All right. And Chrome.
All right. I'm going to go Terry McLaurin.
Scary Terry.
Cole Kmet.
Still got to talk Sixers.
Michael Pittman. And Josh Jacobs.
And Josh Jacobs. And Eddie. All right. I don't have any touchdown parlays to offer.
So for the fun of it, let's see. Give Greg a little competition in this. Although me and Greg are the ones that cost us the one this week.
I mean, it was close. You had like all but like 2 in that massive parlay.
Yeah, it was mine and Greg's.
Yeah, appreciate it. Sorry, guys.
Yep, that's our bad.
All right, Sixers trade James Harden. Good Lord.
It's about time, yes.
Greg, you can start watching games again.
Well, I don't know if I'll do that, but at least start rooting for the Sixers again, right? Like I wore my Iverson jersey yesterday, like with pride for first time in a long time. Okay. Right? It brought a sense of pride back to the organization and the logo. It was funny. I was up naturally. I was up when the Woj bomb broke, but it was like 2 a.m. Shams was sleeping, so like there was no other person to like bounce it off of to see like, all right, is this a fake Woj bomb, right? Like, this looks like his real account, but is this the, am I getting, hoodwinked here?
Yeah.
And the first one didn't have anything attached. It just said agreed to a trade. So I'm like 2 a.m., 2:30, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Either we got a great Woj bomb or we're getting trolled at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Then you started seeing it trickle.
Or it's like one of those like Vin Fosh things. Where it's like, oh, big news happened. It's like a Vin Fosh account. Like, what?
Well, it was interesting too, because to what you said, Greg, right? I don't know if nobody was awake, because I got woken up around like 4:45. That's when the notifications started coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had my phone on vibrate, but it was next to me enough that when I get repeated vibrations, I can hear it. And so I didn't see the Woj bomb dropped at 2-something a.m. But when all the outlets started picking up and reporting it at like 4:45, 5 a.m., my phone was like vroom, 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 over and over. And I'm like, who the fuck keeps texting me right now? And I got up and I looked at my phone. I was like, oh shit, I couldn't go back to sleep. I was up the rest of the morning.
Yeah. When I first saw the notifications, like I was up at like 4:20 in the morning. I'm looking and I see in the group, in one of my group chats was, oh, they just traded James Harden. They traded James Harden. I'm thinking to myself, am I still dreaming? Like, what's going on here? Open up Twitter, see the Woj bomb. I'm like, oh my gosh, it happened.
Yeah. No, I'm glad it finally happened.
Yeah.
I was
early.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I was a little late to the party. I didn't wake up till 8, so as soon as I woke up at 8, went to my phone, I was like, man, there is a God. It's finally over. So now we can just focus on the season now. Now we have the distraction gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the distraction's gone, so it kind of helps me a little bit, where it's like, okay, maybe with that cloud gone, maybe we could escape out of the first round. But I'm still looking forward to how the season's going to progress. We'll see if they're going to make any more moves, because I still think there's going to be more happening down the line. So we'll see where it's going to go with those.
They're definitely set up to, right? They're a lot more.
They are.
They're a lot more liquid than they were before that, right?
Exactly.
Between just pieces and stuff like that, assets,
pieces, picks, cap space.
Mm-hmm.
I think the key was with this whole thing was the replenishing of those draft picks as well. So I thought that was one of the big keys to this deal. I think like getting those draft picks was huge.
Yeah, probably the biggest part of the deal, right? Outside of the money, right? The money, step one of clearing out money, and you got a lot more money. Step two is acquiring 4 picks, something that you don't have, and a pick swap, right? So pick swap's the biggest thing. Yep. I mean, you're a couple season enders away from the Clippers not being as good,
Yeah.
I see PJ's playing. He's got a rebound. I feel like he's looked more active tonight than the whole time with the Sixers. That's about sums up the Sixers. Looks old here. Looks like he got fresh legs there. Makes sense. The other side of it is, when we talked like a week ago about this, I wasn't looking for starters, right? There's people out there that were trying to trade James Harden for starters. I was not. I'm good. I got to walk in 60 points with 2 guys in my starting lineup. I'm good there, guys. I'm good. Maxey and Joe are going to score. Tobias is going to score. Those guys are going to score. I got enough scoring there, right? Where I really needed to get deeper. Okay, and I'm not crowning any of the acquisitions back, but I'm going to tell you, you got better here.
Mm-hmm.
You got better, right? Marcus Moore is going to probably come in and start for us. Okay, rightfully so. Okay, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. We'll see what they do there, right? But to me, he probably comes in and starts in this lineup. Okay, or Batum does. We'll see how they work that out. Either way, they're 2 good additions, and they bring you length, which is something we lack on the perimeter. Rocco, not the biggest Rocco guy, but I don't dislike Rocco. All right, and again, makes you deeper off your pine. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at a bench of Paul Reed, Kelly Oubre, but say Batum, right, and Drawing blank. Platoon.
Rocco.
Say Morris starts and Rocco's on, right? Like,
yeah.
Try to think who your starting lineup would be. Your starting lineup would be obviously Maxey, Melton,
Melton,
Embiid, Tobias, and maybe Morris, say, or maybe Batum,
maybe Oubre or Platoon at the 3.
Or Batum. Yeah, probably not Oubre in my opinion, because I feel like they want that scoring off the bench, right?
Oh, yeah,
and he's been very productive.
He's been good off the bench.
Yeah, so maybe not Oubre, but I'm not against it. They want to play Tobias 4. I mean, they have options. That's the whole point. We have options. Now look at our bench. Okay, let's just put Oubre on our bench. Oubre, say Morris and Tobias start just for argument's sake. Okay, right now that's really good defensively. Your front court or your back court, however you want to call it, right? Your backside is very good defensively, in my opinion. Okay, Morris isn't the same player he was. You also have KJ Martin, but he could be a wave. We'll see how that plays out. Right, he's young. So probably a guy they'll keep, I would think. But either way, look at your bench. Look at your bench. When's the last time? I'm not telling you the championship roster. I'm not telling you any of that. So it's probably the closest thing you've had to one. Outside of Jimmy. Outside of Jimmy years. Like outside of Jimmy, real quick. Outside of Jimmy. And you didn't have a great bench there. This is your deepest team you've had with Joel Embiid. Name me a deeper team with Joel Embiid.
Can't think. Yeah, no, you're right. Can't think of one right now. And you also think of too. I think the name you're probably blanking on, Tom, was Pat Bev, right? You got Pat Bev.
Oh yeah, Pat Bev.
Coming off the bench,
right? So yeah, you get a little bit of grit, right? You get a little bit of grit. You get some toughness from Morris, right? You get the scoring from Oubre. Yeah, you're now a lot deeper and a lot better in multiple different scenarios.
We add some playoff experience as well, right? So one of the things was right. PJ's supposed to be like your tough guy in the playoffs and this and that. Well, listen, Morris don't fuck around, or you find out he's one of those guys. So
yeah, and Pat doesn't either, right? Like
that's absolutely. They're going to be really tough guys in there. They're going to give you that kind of that attitude. And to me, guys, first of all, I mean, the obvious is Maxey's obviously been stepping up and emerging even more so this year, averaging over 30 points a game. But I also look at the fact that Tobias never really had a defined role the whole time that James Harden was here. He was almost kind of lost in the shuffle and just finding spots where they were there. I think you go back to him being the third scoring option. It spreads the floor a little bit more. I think this is actually a really good thing for Tobias. You might get back to that guy who was almost an all-star caliber level player that when we first traded for him by having that defined role. And when you look at what Maxey brings to the table with his speed and quickness, it almost fits better. Like Tobias almost fits better in that trio than even when you had like Jimmy Butler here. Like I just feel like this is a really good mix of guys. And beyond that, all the money comes off the board next year. I mean, you have two guys I think signed, which is Joel and I think Paul Reed. Everybody else is pretty much open season. Now, they're going to sign Maxey at some point, but, you're looking at
I just reiterate on your point, Chrome, real quick about Tobias before we go off of them, because it's a really good point. It's something we talked about. That I brought up why I wanted Harden out of here, and I thought the starting lineup would be better without him because of the impact you get from Maxey and Tobias. We're seeing both of it. We're seeing Tobias is averaging 19.7 a game. Okay, which is up from last year.
Percentage. His field goal percentage is tremendous too. He's high quality shots.
He's at 66%. He's shooting 54% from three. Right. He's averaging a block a game. I know it's early. Almost 5 rebounds a game. So you're getting that production we talked about a few minutes back when from your starters that you're not looking like people. I said that there's Levine. I'll take OG, right? I'll take OG because I don't think he needs the ball in his hands like that, right? But I don't want fucking Zach LaVine. Do you want to kill what Tyrese Maxey is and what he can be with Joel Embiid? Stop. Excuse my language. Stop fucking star hunting. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Build something out. Milwaukee won something by building it out. They don't look right, like Don said, because they went star hunting. Okay, and you can Dame's whatever, man. I'm not gonna get into Dame, but they got to figure it out. That takes time too when you bring in new players, right? But like, we have stars and really good basketball players here. There's 3 guys that we're talking about. One's a budding superstar right in front of our eyes. The other is a mega star. And the other is a damn all-star caliber player. Damn good all-star caliber player. Like, what the hell else do you want? Starting out, how many basketballs do you think you got?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, you don't have that many. So then guys start getting their egos getting involved. Guys take bad freaking shots. It's the shit you start because guys want to get their damn numbers. All right? So at the end of the day, you got to build a bench around it. With some, like Chrome said, which is a great point, Cromer, toughness, right? Where you have a guy like Morris, you replace PJ with Morris, and now you got a guy like Pat Bev. So now you're mixing in the toughness. Mel's tough. Mel's going to get tough with you, right? Tobias has always been physical. He's been not talked about enough for his physicality. We already know Joe, right? So, I mean, you're building something out here. Now, OG or somebody that, like, yeah, sure. Nick Nurse is going to work way better with this type of bench than Doc Rivers ever would.
Sure.
Because they'll use it and play it and develop it.
Yep.
And not develop it, like older guys are developed. But you know what I mean? He's going to put guys in better situations. So I'm excited about this. This creates less egos. It really does, Greg. Like, I don't – what I need hard? Levine. Levine's going to take 20 goddamn shots a night.
Yeah, Levine's a volume shooter and a volume scorer. And they're all over the NBA, so it's not like he's the only one, right? But, Tommy, to your point, I think this gives you the flexibility to go out and, like, not star hunt, but skill hunt, right? You know what I mean? Kind of like when you brought in, like, J.J. Redick, right? What did you need? You needed a shooter, right? So you go get a guy like J.J. Redick, right? This is, if we're going back old school, right? This is where, like, a guy like Kyle Korver coming off your bench is huge, right? A guy like Willie Green type of thing coming off your bench, huge, because you know what those guys were shooting-wise. So this is what you do going forward now with this cap space, some of these expiring contracts and picks, right?
Yep.
I mean, in the salary cap world, these first-round picks are very helpful for us, but they're also a little later, right? I think OKC's is 27, the Clippers 26. Is 28. 26, okay.
26,
so it's not
28.
that far off.
No.
But the one that's 28 is so far off that, yeah, you could probably maneuver that.
Or you want to keep it.
Or you do keep it.
Because they're old.
I'm huge to keep it.
Because they're old, right?
But
that could be, real quick, that could be a top 3 pick. That could be a top 3 pick.
100%.
Good.
Not protected, absolutely I keep it.
Oh, I hold that. That, like you said, that dude, that's in chamber. That's waiting in chamber when I need it, right, Greg? Oh, I need to go get a guy. Let me use this little piece.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody's seeing the Clippers stink. In like 2026, Clippers are old. They're all in a retirement home. Oh, that pick's fun, right?
Yeah.
So that's a stasher for sure that you can use as leverage. 2 seconds gets you shit. That's the whole point. Like, I don't even got to go touch the first round picks.
Yeah.
When I'm looking for really good role players that fit what I'm trying to do, that's a second round pick. That's a second round pick and an expiring not shitty contract, but low level guy that's expiring. Get him off my book.
Cork Maz in a second, right? Since everyone's slandering my son.
No, but you can now. I mean, that's the point, right? Like, you can.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I'm super excited. I'm not a draft pick guy. You guys know this by now. But how can you not be super excited about what they were able to do? If it's Josh Harris, credit to Josh Harris. If it's Nick Nurse, credit to Nick Nurse. I mean, Daryl Morey, Nick Nurse, whoever is involved and made that final decision. Because sometimes you can't go to star hunt. Like, they want to trade Simmons without a star, where you got a loser star. You want to trade, you're going to do that with Harden. You're not going to get a star back.
But you got 2 first. That, I think, Tommy, to your point, real quick, sorry, Chrome. That is the biggest thing. You were able to finagle 2 first out of that deal.
Because when's our next first round pick, Greg?
That I don't know, but I will look.
Does anybody have that information? Because I knew we traded some. So when do we get our first again, too? Because now that matters. I know you had to wait 2 years to trade a first again, right? Something like that.
Every other year. You can't have back-to-back years.
And they did not trade a first last year.
So I want to add, and maybe I'm in the minority on this, but I look at pedigree of guys too, and I think getting a 22-year-old kid like KJ Martin is another opportunity there for a kid who has a pedigree, who's
Rico Hines.
Put up a little bit of numbers here. He averages double figures for his career, and he's only 22 years old. That might be a kid here who 2 years from now, if they hang on to him and develop him a little bit more.
Same with Jaden.
You know how his dad is. That kid could end up being a dog for this team and a real contributor.
100%,
So,
Chrome.
Same with Chrome. You're spot on. Same with Jaden Springer, right? Young guys around the teaching and the nurturing of Nick Nurse and Rico Hines and this coaching staff, which we've seen happen in Toronto, right? We've seen the recipe for it. I think it's great to have two young players like that. One, they believe in to the point where it's not any money, but they believe in to the point of, hey, we're picking up that option for next year already, right? And Jaden Springer and Martin, you don't have to come in and you got time to develop. They have time to develop these kids, and I think it's an important piece, not for 3 or 4 years from now, but for next year, right? Like, hey, I get my fingers and my paws on a guy for a year. I can really help out his growth. Hey, maybe it doesn't take next year. Maybe I help out Jaden Springer growth where he's a contributor halfway through the year. So I think that stuff's important. I do. I listen, you almost have too many guys now. You know what I mean? Which I think is great. I still don't want, I know what Darryl wants, but I want your guys' opinion on it. Are you guys star hunting right now? If you are, that's fine. That's your opinion.
Jaden Springer played 82 games last year. Averaged 12.7 points.
No,
5.5 rebounds.
I'm
sorry. Yeah, sorry, KJ Martin. Right.
I don't think Jaden
12.7 points, 5.5 rebounds, an assist and a half a game, a half a steal. I mean, that's numbers for a 21-year-old kid.
Yeah, Chrome. It's funny. Wilson, watches a lot of college basketball, right? And he mentioned when we said the trade, like Cincinnati wins the national championship in his mind if KJ Martin doesn't get hurt that year, right? So, yeah, to your point, another a guy that is under the radar but might be one of the stars. Not I don't want to say star, right, but one of the shiny stars of the trade. And real quick, while I'm here, Tommy, we have our first this year, and we have a second from the Knicks. So we have 2 picks in 24. I'm sorry, 24. So, yeah, that'll be next year. Yeah, it'll be next year.
24. Yeah.
And you're allowed to trade one of them, too.
26. Oh, we have a first and a second.
Yeah.
And then the next first is 26. So 26, 28, 29 is,
Oh, so they have 2 years in there where they don't have a first.
They don't have a first in 25 and 27.
Okay. So maybe they don't, I don't think they're going to probably trade first. I think, like I said, I think they're going to look to move, if they look to move a player, fine. And like a second, I could see happening. But I don't really think that they want to get in the business of not having those. Because the only way you're doing that is for a young guy who you think's a budding superstar. Like that's the only thing I'm doing. Like if there's a young player out there in a bad situation, but I think he's got a big time opportunity in the right situation to play alongside Maxey and Embiid to be like star caliber. Yeah, I'll entertain that. But I'm not looking for a current star. There really isn't a current star you can tell me that I want because I just don't know how we do it.
Yeah.
And then to go get one, you're going to have to give up a ton. I don't want Levine's deal. 4 years from now, I'm going to hate that goddamn deal. I want no parts of that deal. I'm telling people right now.
Plus, you already hate him.
It's just like he's not good. If he's so good, Chicago at some point would be good. So he ain't a star.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I mean, Joel will win 50 games with us on his roster. You understand that? Or 45 to get himself in the dance.
Yeah.
Okay? Chicago stinks. And it's not like they're not talented. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They stink.
No,
honestly, if I'm pulling anyone off of Chicago, DeRozan is the one I would want.
Yeah, that's the guy I look for.
Yeah.
And I don't even love DeMar because he's old, but at this point, but I'll still take him.
Yeah, I want to get your guys' opinion on this. And it's not like a big move. It's not a big market move. It's not a superstar move. But the guy that we got for Thibault last year, his name was McDaniels, right? Jalen McDaniels, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I was kind of like, get your guys' opinion on this. And I was kind of surprised in the offseason that they didn't really try to make him an offer and all. And he's 25 years old. He's young. You think it's a guy you want to build around. But yet they didn't really make him any type of offer at all.
Yeah, I guess my opinion was that it wasn't a Nick Nurse guy, right?
Okay. I figured that's what it was anyway.
And he kind of got exposed in the playoffs, which happens to young kids.
Yeah.
Right? Which happens to young players. He got exposed, and I guess that anytime Danielle House steals your minutes in the playoffs, it's kind of a red X next to your name, and once it comes up, I agree with you though. I thought he was, I thought he was young enough and athletic enough to at least give a shot, but maybe they saw enough in the short time that they had him.
Well, I think too.
Well, Don, thankfully that was from Wilson and not me, so I'm not wrong again, right? That was from Wilson.
He did not. I just confirmed that. So Wilson.
I think too, the thing you got to think about with him, right? We had enough to worry about as far as contract wise, to where, I mean, if the kid's a little bit of a question mark, you're bringing in a new coach who's going to bring in his own guys. I'd liked him too, but I actually think he got a decent payday from somebody else too on a multi-year deal, to where they were just kind of like, "Hey, thanks for your time, but we got enough on our plate."
And like I said, Greg, going back to your point about when when you have your minutes stolen from you, like Daniel House did to him, definitely not a good sign.
Yeah,
but I just thought, hey, he's young.
He's athletic. I hear you.
Yeah,
he's athletic. He could score the ball a little bit. Yeah, I thought he was a guy they would probably bring back, and then when they didn't, I just assumed, okay, that's not a Nick guy for whatever reason. They doesn't fit. Whatever. It's not worth the bring back. They have other ideas. Listen, I'm wondering here, and we'll see before the deadline, right? We'll see. But I'm wondering if Daryl Morey is changing his stripes a little bit here. I'm wondering with the hiring of Nick Nurse, if it's almost like, hey, I won a championship with 1 star.
Right.
Right, guys? Like, I won a championship with 1 star.
I don't need a lot.
I need players around that to let him Nick Sirianni, to let the flower grow.
Let the flower grow.
Right, let it grow. All right. So that's what I'm looking for here. And that's what I think they're trying to do. I really do. I hope it. Because he's got 2 stars right here. You don't need any more.
No, you're right.
I mean, Tyrese
you need complementary pieces.
Yeah,
you got complementary pieces.
Spot on, Greg. You got to build around those guys with the right pieces. Not a volume scorer next to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not somebody who needs the ball in their hands all the time. Guys like Tobias. Right?
I see Malcolm Brogdon brought up in the chat a lot tonight. Again, guy like that, right? Guy like that who just doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective.
No, any guy who can get a shot off on his own. You want guys who play good defense, right? You're just looking for guys that buy in. At this point, it's buying guys. Who's going to buy in? Who's going to buy into the system? Who's going to buy into being a great teammate? Right? You're looking for those glue guys. Because when you have your foundation, and this is where we, as a fan base, right? I think it's very important. We haven't valued what we have yet, right? We've always been looking outside it, right? What else can we add? What else can we add, right? The only thing we ever could have did is run back the Jimmy year again, and maybe we would have got to where we wanted to get to, right? But every time we've done it, it's failed. And it all started, Cromer, it all started with a 45 bouncer. Okay, in the Air Canada Senator. That coach is now here, which is sort of funny, right? How this all works. But that's where it all started. That was should have been all we needed to know. We just lost to a team with 1 star. 1. So we had all of them. We had 4. We goddamn 4. Think about that loss. We had 4 of them. All right. So then it all trickled down to how many other second round losses with stars, and we didn't get it done. So now we're here. How can you build around it?
Down the line all season, do you think this sets up a possibility landing spot for like a Siakam?
See, again, I don't think
with Tobias coming off, with all the money coming off at the end of the year. That's what I'm saying. Like down the road, after the season, all season.
That's a guy too who isn't look at me.
Sure.
Makes sense? I'm looking for not look at me guys. I'm looking for grinders. That are also quickly, Chrome, that are also star caliber. If I'm going to go that direction,
I mean, if I'm looking at for next year, I mean, I literally pulled up the free agent class, right? A lot of older guys, Kawhi, DeMar DeRozan. We bought his name out. A lot of guys on there. Buddy Hield's not a bad name as small forward. He might be a good fit for this team.
Yeah, I mean, we have so many.
Siakam's another good one. Contavious Pope is out there. There's some decent guys that aren't break the bank guys that aren't going to be, I need to have the ball in my hands, over Tyrese, who could come in and be a legitimate third option here.
Right. Yeah.
That's probably the two biggest things.
We win a title, by the way, if that happens.
I mean, Clay is out there next year.
Yeah, I'm good. We win a title if Siakam's a Sixer with those two guys. You can just write that down somewhere. I want everybody. Everybody come play me because my length is disturbing. My length is disturbing. Who else?
Anunoby's another one. I could see them going after him.
He's a free agent.
After this year, yeah.
Man, they got the money to go get both of them if they wanted to.
I could, yeah.
You just can't max Siakam.
And he already got his max, right? And
that's the problem, Greg.
I don't think he's a max player anymore, though, too.
No, fair. I just don't think you can't max him because you got to be able to max out Maxey.
Sure. No, I completely agree with you.
He can't do that. But if he wants to come here on the right deal, I think that you're turning that into the best possible Sixers team you can have. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's get through this year. Because we have a lot of guys. We have a lot of guys coming off the books this year anyway. And Josh says, "Oh my God, the Philadelphia Raptors." That's really what it would be. I think this team is lengthy, right? We talked about length. We talked about Boston. You talk about Milwaukee, right? So everybody that told me, like, Bill, there's no chance that we beat Milwaukee or the Celtics. I wouldn't go that far, babe. You know what I mean? I wouldn't go that far. If Maxey's the player who we think he is right now, I would not start talking shit because right now is the reason you didn't trade him for Dame.
Yeah.
And I'll mic drop that on everybody. It's the reason why I was not putting him in the deal. I was not putting Maxey in the deal. You can keep Dame. We're good. We're good over here. So, that's the best thing the Sixers ever did was not putting him in any deals and really make him untradeable because of his work ethic. And we talked about it a million times, right? If you work hard and you got the talent, you're sure as hell going to see those results. And we got maybe one of the best grinders we had in this city. And I love that this city has so many of them in their different sports with their different sports teams.
Yeah,
a lot of guys who get after it, right? A lot of different guys who get after it. Let's let these two go win it because they're getting. If this roster stays healthy, they're getting out of the second round. I'm feeling it now. I'm not telling you they're awesome or anything, but I think this kind of roster with the toughness that they provide, I think they're pretty good. Let's not forget, Batum can still play a little bit. Like all the guys they got.
At worst, he could hit a corner three.
Yeah, like all the guys they got can still shoot it. A little bit. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not probably what they were 4 or 5 years ago, obviously.
The two might be 90, but he can still hit a corner three. Like, I feel like this dude's been in the league forever.
Yeah, I've been in for a long time. People said the Sixers lost a trade before we get out of here. Did they lose the trade?
No. Anytime you get rid of a crumb like James Harden, you win the trade.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, guys, I agree. Like, if you give me just 2 first-round picks and 2 seconds for him, I think I win the trade.
I think consensus seems to be the Sixers did very well for themselves, particularly, again, considering the circumstances. And, it could be a win-win for both. It could work out for the Clippers. And honestly, they're going to lose guys next year. So giving Harden the chance to be their guy next year is appealing to them. They can pay him. It'll probably work out for them. On our end, we got rid of, addition by subtraction, cap space, expiring contracts, draft capital. I don't see how people can't. I don't see how people can't understand. And it definitively opens it up now for Tyrese Maxey to be your number 2. That is the key to this. People have to remember Tyrese Maxey is now your number 2. There's no questions, no ifs, ands, and buts about it. And he's stepping into that role perfectly. That is a key here. was creating an opportunity for Tyrese Maxey to continue to grow and develop into his spot. We've been looking for
Bill,
that.
Who's their third? Who's the Celtics' third star? Who's Milwaukee's third star? I'm gonna riddle you. There isn't.
Who's Denver's third star?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna go out west. I'm just gonna stay in the East. But go ahead.
I mean, I'm going to the champs though. Where's the third star? The league is getting away from this triple, like these super teams now. Like you're not going to be able to max out these
Cap's
guys
coming
anymore.
back to earth. Yeah.
So Bill, this whole you have to have a third star thing doesn't work. You need two guys, and then you need assets around them. You need guys who can play roles, guys who have playoff experience, guys who are tough. It is not the NBA in 2000 and when did LeBron take his town to South Beach?
2010.
Yeah, This isn't 2010. It's a decade ago. They're getting away from that. After this year, you can't do that anymore.
No, yeah. I mean,
Somebody say he's going to say Kristaps.
Yeah, I mean, good player. Drew, really good player. Nobody's doubting that. They're not stars. So what's the difference in them and the Sixers? If you got two stars, then are your role players better than the other role players? That's what it comes down to.
I still draft Okafor over Kristaps.
Yeah, Ethan, I agree. Middleton's not a star, Bill. Chris Middleton's not a star. He's a really good player.
Anymore.
We know he's never a star. He's a really good player. Never a star. Hey, we got to know what stars are. You know, stars are guys who are going to drop you 30 a night in this league, essentially, right? Like that's what stars is. Chris was never that. He's really good though. You know what I mean? Never take that away from him. Really good player. We'll love to have Chris Middleton a couple years back, right? But he's not a star. He's not even close to a star now. He's just a good player. But that's what it is. Like Toby's the same as Middleton. In reality, they're not that much different.
Tobias's numbers career-wise, I'm looking at them.
Yeah.
Pretty close to Chris Middleton.
Yeah, I think we just overrate guys that aren't here.
Yeah.
Let's overrate guys that aren't here. Like Drew. Is Drew a star? No, stop it. He's a damn good player. That's not a shot. I think people don't misunderstand. Like, that's not a shot. You know what a star is? Stars Joel Embiid. Stars Jason Tatum, right? They're stars. Giannis, star. Okay, they're stars. Like, Lillard ain't even a star anymore. Like, he's not a star what he was 4 or 5 years ago. He's really good. He has the ability on certain nights to show to be star. But he's also showed early in the year he ain't so good. He's older. It just happens. I'm not telling you I don't like Dame, but all right, I'm not saying that. Certain guys, whatever. There's stars in this league, and then there's damn good players. Like KD, star, right?
Actually, if we're being fair, Tobias over his career fills up the stat sheet more than what Chris Middleton does.
Yeah, he does. That's a joke, Bill. I mean, I love you, and I thought you had more basketball knowledge than this, but you said Middleton is better than anybody you got after beating Maxey. That's not true. That's not true. We just told you a guy who's right there with them. It comes down to postseason of your stars, right? And then do you have more role players that can do things for you to spread you out? That's all. All right, boys. Anybody got anything else? Before we argue with Bill the rest of the night. Love you, Bill.
It's basketball season, right?
That's the time.
The heel Bill is back.
Yeah. Bill, give us your prediction, Eagles Cowboys, too. So we can get back on the same side here. But yeah, like you know what I mean, Crum? I just think we get quick as fans to put guys in a category that they're not there yet, or they never were, right? Not saying you said that, just in general.
No, I don't. I feel like people aren't paying attention to the NBA though, because literally the NBA is getting away from it. You're not able to max out multiple guys. Once you max out Maxey, you can't have another max guy. It's a different league now. They're not allowing this anymore. They're busting up super teams. They're trying to level the playing field throughout the league. So at this point, the way the Sixers are setting themselves up going forward is better because you're going to be able to max out Maxey next year. You're going to have, obviously, Embiid and Maxey are going to be your max guys. And then you're going to have a lot of capital financially whether it's draft capital to trade or using your actual cap space to fill out the rest of the roster and really upgrade.
Absolutely. They want parity in the league. They want to be a little bit like the competitiveness the NBA, the NFL brings you, right? They want more. They want it open for more teams to be involved, because the more teams you get involved, the better your league is. The more viewership you get. It's common sense. So, we'll see. But Bill, I didn't change the narrative. I said that why can't you win with 2 stars? I said if my whole conversation was Maxey is what he is early on this year and stays that way, well, that's star level. That's star level. The numbers speak to it. I'm not saying it's going to, but if he does, we have 2 stars. There's nothing stopping us from being able to win now. Okay, so that's all. But love you guys. Thanks for joining us. Boys, great show, like always. We'll do it again next Wednesday after an Eagles dub. Can't wait. Can't wait. Big game, 4:05. Okay, 4:05, not 4:25, just to confirm. We all picked the Eagles to win, but Greg. So you can take it to the bank. An Eagles win coming up this Sunday. So I hope you enjoyed the show. You can always go back and watch all our shows on any platform you're on and everywhere you go your podcast too. So make sure over on iTunes, iHeart, wherever you're at, right? Spotify, Speaker, Google Play, doesn't matter. Okay. Go follow us. Go give us a great review. Put the Cowboys suck in there. All right. And let's go kick some Cowboy ass. All right. Let's go kick some Cowboy ass. Yeah. How about them Cowboys? What were you going to say, Greg, for your internet?
I said, let's get it.
Yeah. Wasn't sure. And Don, as always, on the way out, make sure he's clear about James Franklin, just to get Greg riled up. Don would just like us to sit here for 6 hours.
Yeah,
like 5
Don just wants another 15, 20 minutes.
That's all, and I love it out of him. We need more Dons in the world on A2D. So make sure you hit the like, subscribe, follow, join the conversation on every show. Tony says, "Go Eagles!" See you, Tone. Thanks for joining us tonight, brother.
Yeah, thanks for the comments, brother.
Greg, you're the best too. You're always in here. Bill, you're all right at times. Friday, you have vetted. A little change of scheduling with Irvin and Hollis. Make sure you go check them out. I think Brian Dawkins, that is, working on being on this week. So make sure you stay locked in. Great insight in the Eagles Cowboys you're going to get. And Les Bowen is now on Thursdays as well, or Fridays as well, at 3:00. So you got Les, and you get Hollis and Irv the next 2 Fridays on Friday. And then they'll go back to their regular scheduled programming. If you missed it, you can go back, check out Paul Domowitch earlier, had the great Mel Reese on, and the Cowboys play-by-play announcer that I don't know his name. So, because that's how I feel about the Cowboys. It's not a shot at him. He's probably a great man. Cowboys, not so much. Boys, great show. Thank you to Royal Billiards, bringing us every show. Go check them out, 515 Bethlehem Pike, Colmar, PA. Visit them on the web, royalbilliard.com. They got hot tubs. They got everything for your man cave. Everything for your man cave. Good night, everybody. It's almost 1 a.m. We did it again. We out of here.